Hi everyone, it's Pete here, minor canon for young people from Salisbury Cathedral. It's great to have you joining us for our daily reflection, be it for the first time or be it for probably the 200th time by now since we started these. But you're very welcome. And today I've been journeying around, I've been meeting quite a few people, and there's sort of a consistent theme that I've been coming across, with people feeling particularly tired, people feeling particularly stressed, particularly vulnerable around this time of COVID, particularly with these new measures that the government have introduced that seem to be building and creating differentials in terms of the levels that people are at and different sets of criteria, and people feeling worried for their jobs, for their families, for their safety. And those things have been playing high and being played out quite loudly, really, in the conversations that I've been having. And so the thing that I wanted to talk to you about today, with that in mind, was thankfulness. Now, or gratitude, thankfulness and gratitude, I'll use them sort of interchangeably. But that might seem like a strange thing to be thinking about in the midst of all of that. But I think actually thankfulness, gratitude are essential in the times we find ourselves in. And why I think that is because I think that thankfulness is something that, when we take it on board, actually changes our hearts, something that moves us to a different position, a different posture, if you like. And I think because of that, thankfulness, gratitude is something that we actually need to create as a habit. It's something we need to cultivate because it is so essential to what we do, particularly at times like these. We can often think that when we look at something like thankfulness, that thankfulness comes from the joy, from the things that make our heart leap, from the things that we live out of because we're in a happy place. So when we're in a happy place, we should be thankful. But I actually think it's the other way round. I think thankfulness and gratitude give us a posture towards joy. A Jesuit priest said this. He said it's not joy that makes us grateful, it's gratitude that makes us joyful. And I think when we stop and when we think about it, we know within our hearts that that is something that's true. When we are conscious, when we are cultivating a habit of gratitude, of thankfulness, our eyes are actually open to the world around us. They're actually open to see the wonders of the things around us, to see the place we live in differently. We are then open and able to step into a more joyful sense of being. Now, I did a talk on this in assembly not that long ago in school, in the school that I'm a chaplain at. And it's all based around the game that we play at our house, which is called the Thankful Game. And the Thankful Game is what I play with my kids around the dinner table. My family and I, we sit down, we have dinner, and then each day we try to say something we are thankful for. And that something we are thankful for has to be something that's specific. Now, when I said this and started to play this game in the school assembly, when we were thinking about this, I started to try to get things from the children that they were thankful for. And one lad came out with a beautiful example where he said, "Oh, I'm thankful for the world and for nature." And I said to him, "You know, that's a fantastic example, but I want you to dial it in. I want you to go deeper. I want you to be more specific. I want you to think about something intricate, something specific you've seen." You know, as we then journeyed through and we got more specific in the examples the children were giving, we could genuinely feel a change in the atmosphere in the room. People who were there could feel a change because we were confessing with our mouths. We were seeing with our eyes, we were internalizing, we were singing with our hearts, and we were confessing with our mouths the things that we were thankful for, and it brought a change of atmosphere. Now, it's not only that example that leads me to the conviction that this is so important. This is something that we've personally lived out in my family. When we had my first child, Noah, who's now 7, my wife suffered really badly through a whole range of circumstances, but suffered really badly with postnatal depression following the birth of my son, Noah. She really struggled at the time. There were times where I'd go to work and she'd be in tears, and I'd get back from work and she'd be in tears. And it was a really complex, dark space to live in. It was really a struggle to see beyond anything in the immediate, and everything in the immediate felt heavy, it felt burdensome, and it felt like it was smothering. And so we came across this challenge to thankfulness, and we came up with this thing where every day we would try to take a photo on our phones of something we were thankful for. And so then we had two things to do with them. Firstly, we could sit when we felt really low and scroll through the things we were thankful for and remind ourselves, and my wife Lydia could remind herself of what she was thankful for. But more than that, we took some of those things and we printed them out and we stuck them around our kitchen, because it reminded us that when we were in a space where it's sort of functional and can feel very chore heavy, it reminded us of the things that we are thankful for. And that changed our hearts. In a sense, we chose thankfulness, and because we chose thankfulness, we opted for joy. I think when we choose gratitude and when we choose thankfulness, we are on a path to the heart of God. I think when we do it, it changes us, and I think it is just so important, particularly at this time where everything seems so chaotic, when everything seems so pressured. You might be thinking out there that, you're teaching us to suck eggs, but I need reminding of this stuff daily, and I think a load of us need reminding of this stuff daily. It might seem so obvious, but it's so easy as we go through the world to let these disciplines, to let these habits drift away from our lives, and before we know it, they are non-existent, and we feel in a place where we are completely out of control. So as I close, I suggest to you some applications for that. I suggest to you maybe something we do is to do the thankfulness game, as we call it, but to sit around the dinner table. And I've robbed this from the psychologist Brené Brown, who's awesome, by the way. Have a look for her work if you find it. But have a sit around the table and name something specific you are thankful for that day. Go around the table with the people you share life with and name something you are thankful for. Or do what we did and do the thankfulness photo. One thing that you can take a picture of that you are thankful for that day and can remind yourself of. Or do a thankfulness diary. Now, if you're lazy like me, go and get an actual diary that already has the date and everything in it, and write one or two things you're thankful for that day in it. Or if you want to be more creative, do something in your own power. But write down what you're thankful for and revisit it over time. Thankfulness has to be a habit. It's something we opt for. It's so easy to slip away from it. But we have to choose gratitude. We have to choose thankfulness. And when we do that, we opt for joy in our own lives. That's all I've got for you today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. God bless, and I hope to see you all at some point soon. God bless.